Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
I'm Ryan Newman.
And I'm Trey Newman.
So Coach O and LSU have mutually agreed to part ways at the end of the season. I think probably most LSU fans watching this agree with that decision. They think it's the right move by the athletic director, Scott Woodward. So let's not even talk about that. Let's get to the candidates. So right now, the betting odds, you can see them up on your screen. Mel Tucker is the favorite, Michigan State's head coach, at plus 255. The rest of the top five, Lane Kiffin, Luke Fickell, James Franklin, and Billy Napier. So what are your guys' just kind of general thoughts about this big list of coaches here?
So it's a good list of names. If this was my program, I would feel pretty confident that I could find a quality coach out of all of these to come lead up my team. But just interesting that, we can touch on the leader here, Mel Tucker. That's a pretty sizable gap between him and the second place. I mean, he's plus 255 and Lane Kiffin's plus 600. That's a pretty wide gap. And, Mel Tucker's done a good job this year. I think I'm just going to say that I question a little bit if he's ready for LSU. He had a couple of so-so seasons before this one that's turned into a pretty magical year so far. But I'm not sure they're really they're 7-0 right now, but, I mean, very easily could be like 5-2 and maybe even 4-3. So they've had some close wins, but it wouldn't be a bad hire. I think he'd do fine, but just I don't know if I'd be super thrilled if I was LSU if I got Mel Tucker.
It would be a hire that makes sense and would be good, I think. But I agree. I would like to first get some of these other guys to say no before I went with Mel Tucker. Some more maybe proven long-term head coaches.
Yeah.
Well, and Ryan, like you kind of alluded to, there's a list of other names that Michael didn't even mention at the outset that you could go about 20 deep and you'd be pretty confident that one of those coaches is going to be pretty good for your program. So it's a pretty healthy list.
So how about Lane Kiffin? Do we think he would make that move? Do we think LSU would want him?
I mean, I wouldn't put past Lane to do anything really. He's gone around the coaching world. So I could believe it if he went. I think he's got a good situation going on down there in Oxford at Ole Miss, but would LSU want him? I don't know. Probably not. I think they probably would rather go with somebody else. He's Tennessee, Ole Miss. I'm not sure they're going to want to get kind of a third SEC school for Lane. I don't know. That seems a little
without knowing his history, he would be a very logical hire, but it would be he'd go to another school in the division, be his third SEC school, having been at Tennessee before, I guess fourth if you consider him as an assistant at Alabama. So seems unlikely, but possible.
I think for me, the best hire from this list, like if I were Scott Woodward, I would want James Franklin from Penn State. He's great recruiter, big personality, generally does a good job of hiring assistants, which was kind of maybe Coach O's downfall these past couple years. So I think he would kill it there.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, top 5 classes for sure, and just boom.
Exactly. He would be a home run. You're going to have talent, and that would, and you'd be able to, on a recruiting front, you'd be up there with Alabama, or it would be very good.
All right, so if you're forced to make 2 bets on this list, and I wouldn't really advise anyone to make bets. There's a lot of, I think there's a big hold percentage, a lot of juice built into these numbers. But you had to make 2 bets. Who you betting?
Trey, what do you think?
All right, well, at these odds, I would first look to James Franklin, like we just talked about. I mean, he's been the SEC before at Vandy. We saw what he did at Vandy, having, back-to-back nine-win seasons. We look at it now. That's incredible. And maybe he wants to get out of Ohio State's shadow and get a fresh start. Not that, going to the SEC West is much better being in Alabama's, but just I personally think it could be a fresh start for him, and it would be a slam dunk for both sides.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to go with my first bet would be Luke Fickell. He's at 7-1. I mean, obviously he's had his choice last year to jump ship and probably go somewhere else, maybe Michigan State, but waiting for a bigger time job. And I don't know exactly what he does want, but if what he does is just wants a bigger job that's like cream of the crop, LSU's that. You're not going to get a better situation. I mean, most talent-rich area, you get all the top recruits, fan support, everything you could really want as far as this is the top line program. that would fit. So I think Luke Fickell, especially if Cincinnati, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I feel if Cincinnati continues and like actually does make the playoff, yeah, that's quite an accomplishment there from Cincinnati. Maybe he'd be more willing to be like, okay, I can take on the next step.
And LSU might be more interested in that case because Woodward wants to make a splash. That's what everyone's saying. And Fickell going undefeated, that would kind of make that a splash. My first bet is not a splash, at least for the average college football fan, but Billy Napier at plus 850. Just because he's been every SEC job that comes open, seems like he's one of the top candidates, and
it's
for good reason.
For the podcast here.
Yeah, we love Billy Napier. He's been, and he has SEC experience. He coached under Nick Saban at Alabama. He's even, the other top coach in the country, or one of them, coached under Dabo Swinney, and has done an amazing job in the state of Louisiana, so it's kind of an easy transition there. I think he would be a good hire.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm gonna leave one for. Well, no, you know what? I'm not gonna leave it. We're gonna have to go with it. My second guy would be Dave Aranda. 18 to 1. He was so successful as LSU's defensive coordinator. The LSU fans are familiar with him, and seeing how he's turned Baylor back around this past season, he has kind of a disciplined approach, which LSU seems to maybe been lacking the last couple years. And also the defense has been a disaster there recently, so I think they would embrace him with open arms to get that side of the ball addressed, and since he was there in their stronger years.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. I'm with you. I like that at those odds for sure. And he'd probably bring his offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes with him, who's done a great job right there at Baylor. I mean, you would think there would be a logical choice. So Dave Aranda on the defense, maybe an up and coming offensive coordinator there. Seems like that would be a good hire. But I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go with more of a stable pick here, not sexy, but I'm going to go Mark Stoops at 11 to 1. I mean, leading at Kentucky to success, a run, kind of a consistent success here. I mean, they had a 10-win season. This year they're on pace for, maybe they could get to 10 wins. They're 6-1 right now. So a couple of 10-win seasons at Kentucky is an amazing accomplishment. And just the way he's steadily built that program. They're tough. They run the ball, stop the run. They're good at that. So maybe that with that kind of defensive emphasis, that could kind of give him a little edge because LSU's missing that right now.
Yeah. My second bet, same as Trey. I'm Aranda 18 to 1, and I have the same concerns with him as I do with Mel Tucker. I think it would be, as an LSU fan, I wouldn't be over the moon with that hire because I would like someone with a longer track record than just kind of one good season here. But it does seem to make some sense. One guy we haven't brought up the whole episode, which we should probably name, is Jimbo Fisher, who maybe, of course, Woodward hired him at Texas A&M. He has said, of course, very adamant that he loves Texas A&M, but we've seen coaches say things like that. We've seen him say things like that before and gone on to move. So what do you guys think? Do you think Jimbo would take it if offered?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's tough.
I don't think so either.
It is tough.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I just think he's got a great setup there at Texas A&M. You kind of mentioned it. We were talking about this earlier. It's just like if you go to LSU, it's whatever has been, you can't accomplish anything that hasn't been done there.
Right.
They've won multiple national titles, and it's a quick trigger. If you don't have success, you're gone. Texas A&M, they invested like everything in him, and this is his kind of, I guess I'll call it baby, but like he's starting this program. It probably feels like, hey, I'm taking this from the bottom and rising up, and he's got great recruiting coming in. He's done a good job. They just upset Bama recently. So I don't know. I just feel like with the amount of money he's making there, like I don't know why he would leave A&M.
What kind of odds would I need to give you to bet Bill Clark? Great coach, Bill Clark, doing
he is
great job, but
yeah,
I
actually have a hard time believing he's a shorter odds than Dave Aranda.
I agree with you there. Or Mario Cristobal.
Right.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments below. A lot of names on this list. Who would you bet? Do you think Mel Tucker is a deserving favorite as of this moment? Let us know below. But thanks for watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe. We have college football content every week, all year round. We'll see you next time.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.